All right, we're back. I am Waldorf,
And I'm Statler.
and this time we're looking at the Ninth Age Enchanted items.
Enchanted.
Yes, it's
No.
enchanting or enchanted?
Enchanted.
Enchanted.
And no Ella Enchanted on here.
First item we have on this list is the flying carpet. 40 points for a lord, 30 for a hero. Only models on foot. You get fly 6. Never mind. I used to like the flying carpet.
When you could fly real far.
When you could
put
fly
it on
10?
a Minotaur or something. It was
Yeah.
quite impressive.
Fly 6, not so impressive because most things can move that far.
Right. I mean, you can jump over units, which is the bonus it gives you, but that's a lot of freaking points for that ability.
Yeah, it is. Not a big fan. I'm going to say no. You're not going to see this in my list.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless I'm trying something really weird.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan at the point cost,
Okay.
because it was faster to be different. I'm glad they did this, and there was nothing worse than the Superman, the Minotaur flying across
Correct.
the battlefield.
Oh, scary as hell.
So I think that they made this change is perfect. I just don't think it's quite pointed right.
Right. It's a little overpointed for what it is.
Wizard's Hood, 40 points, where it has stupidity. And if it didn't have any wizard levels, it becomes a level 2 wizard apprentice. And instead of selecting a path, you roll randomly on the battle magic at the start of each battle. I love the wizarding hat in 8th.
At 100 points?
Even at 100 for really cheap guys. Or I liked, I should say.
Yes.
I love this item.
This is a fantastic item. Once you've talked me into this, I don't think I'll ever run an Orc and Goblin army without a Goblin wearing this item.
Any cheap hero, a Lord, frankly. Goblin Lords are so cheap.
Yes.
Or a well-armored guy, like a Kingdom of Equitaine guy.
Yeah.
And you're basically, in some cases, you're getting your Lord for cheaper than you would pay for the mage. So,
Well, I mean, I told you I did the math of this guy on a Goblin Lord. A Goblin Lord wearing this hat is 15 points more than a level 2 Goblin Shaman.
right.
And the Goblin Shaman, of course, has 2 less leadership, 3 less attacks, less
Yep.
strength, less toughness, less wounds.
No protection.
The only thing you deal with this is stupidity.
Yes.
That's the only downside to this thing at all. And if you're inside the general's
So you
bubble,
need to make sure this guy isn't out there for the flank.
no, he's not
You're
there.
not going to give him the flying carpet, put him
Yeah.
on the flank.
And toss the guy a great weapon. Now he's a wizard that can thump you at strength 6.
Yep. No,
Yes.
it's a nice little thing.
Anyway,
Now-
fantastic item.
I think a lot of people probably don't like it because they don't know what lore they're going to get.
Yeah.
And you have to really think about in advance. You really got to look at the different lores and say, hey, what are how would I use these lores? What are the spells
Correct.
that I want or whatever? And do I want the 0 spell or not? But I think this adds flexibility that you just don't have. It's very variable but it's fun. I think is the best.
It's a
way.
random, fun item.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Anyway, enough of that one, I guess. The next one is the Crown of Scorn for 35 points. 1 use only. Instead of making a dispel scroll, you can use this item. Spell is automatically dispelled. You can only take this item in an army with no wizards. So this is basically a dispel scroll for an army without a wizard.
Correct.
This is a great item. I love this
And
item.
it's the same points.
For a while I was running an army with no mages because I was taking which
Right.
we'll talk about later, the banner that lets you dispel at +2,
Right.
and this item, and now I can dispel as good as I could if I had a wizard lord.
No,
is-
as we talked about when we talked
good
about the
combo.
magic section, you can play with a lot of armies a non-magic list,
Correct.
and the reason you can do that is 1, magic isn't quite as potent,
Right.
and 2, you have items that you can get that aren't terribly expensive that can help you with your magic defense.
I agree.
So it's not something I would take in every army,
Right.
because I'm not going to go magic lists in every army. But having the option of do that and give you some variability, I think, and not pump a lot of points into magic and more fightiness,
Yeah.
is a viable option, I believe, for a number of armies.
I'm not. Yeah, it's a great option, I think.
Yeah. The crystal ball, 35 points. The bearer has lightning reflexes. Another item I like,
I like it, but
but I don't love
35 points for a +1 to hit.
it. Yeah, but I don't love it.
I don't love it. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I guess if you got a guy with a great weapon, nah, it's not worth it just to get your initiative back. For 35 points, you might as well take the +2 strength weapon, and you get your initiative back.
Yes.
And also helps you with armor.
if you have, well, this doesn't count against your armor, which is that. I think maybe something like a vampire, you can make some use out of it.
Okay, yeah, I can see there's uses. I just, anyway, 35 maybe.
You know, something where you either have very high strength or you're rerolling wounds already, then you may want, you want that plus to go.
Yeah. Next one.
It's nowhere as good as it used to be.
No. The Scepter of Dominion.
And
sorry.
I agree, it costs too many points.
Cost 35 points was too much for that.
Yeah.
Scepter of Dominion for 30 points. One use only, may be activated at the start of any round of combat. For the duration of the phase, you get stubborn. This is the old Crown of Command, except it's a one-use item.
One-use item.
30 points. It's nice to have if you've got... I like this if you have a frenzied unit or something that's got the potential to get drawn out and slammed in the side, and you need to try to save it for a turn. 30 points for stubborn for a round is pretty pricey, though.
Yeah, I'm never generally like one-use only items that have high point costs with
Right.
them. If you don't have any bodyguards in your army units or any unbreakable, I could see you taking this to have
that one unit.
That one unit that you can rely on at least for one phase.
Right.
So yeah, particularly ones that might get
flanked
by their nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings us the Gem of Fortune, 25 points. Successful to wound rolls of 6 from ranged attacks against the bear's unit must be re-rolled unless the hit was distributed onto a large target.
It's a fairly specific item.
Yes.
Conditional. But I can kind of see its uses.
I can see its uses. Taking the large target, if it allowed for the large target, would be really good.
Well, it says unless it was distributed onto a large target.
Right.
So that means if you take it on a guy on a monster,
you can't distribute.
It's not being distributed, so he has to re-roll sixes to wound, right? Like a goblin lord on a spider.
Yeah. So
if he takes this, range attacks are going to have to re-roll their sixes.
You still get it. It would be like a war platform.
Yeah.
It might be large. Wouldn't be able to get it. Yeah. You're right.
So I mean, it's decent. I'm not seeing the big use for this.
It's not huge. I mean,
Right.
it's just I guess there aren't exactly a plethora of cornucopia. A plethora. Pablo, do you know what plethora means? Of killing blow ranged attacks.
Right. Yeah, it's the range attacks.
Yeah.
Anyway. Next item is 25 points for the Ring of Fire. Fire's bad. Bearer can cast a fireball from the path of fire as a bound spell, power level 3. Again, if we're talking about taking a no magic army, this is a bound spell. It gives you a fireball. Even if you're taking one mage, I think this is nice to toss in there.
Or if you're taking lures that don't
have
give you
fireballs,
don't have a magic missile, or
Right.
don't give you a good chance. Don't have a magic missile or direct damage as their default spell. It's
Right.
going to be useful to help you with chaff units.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have shooting in your army. So I mean, I liked it before. I like it now.
It's a nice item.
It's a nice item. It's not one that you'll take in a lot of builds, but a lot of builds it's indispensable. So.
Agreed.
Potion of Strength, 20 points. The old standby, one use only, may be activated at the start of any phase or round of combat. I love this change.
I love that change.
I don't know how many games I played that I forgot to declare it at the beginning of the turn.
Well, the other thing is you could, and when you did remember it, you take your Potion of Strength. The other guy says, "Oh, you're charging me with that vampire with a Potion of Strength. I'll flee."
Yeah, exactly.
Now your item's just burnt.
Exactly.
So
this is a great change because it was an item you saw a lot. It was a great change for it, I think.
I agree.
Now that it's only +2 strength, not +3 strength.
Didn't it used to be +2?
It was +3, wasn't it?
I think it was always been +2.
Okay. But it's a helpful item.
Right. Charm of the Cursed Icon. Is that what that says? Charm of the Cursed Iron.
Cursed Iron.
Sorry.
Iron.
The bearer and its unit have a 5-up ward save against wounds caused by artillery weapons. This is a nice item for 20 points.
But how can you be charmed and cursed at the same time?
I don't know.
They-
I don't understand, but I like it.
yes.
Apparently. This has a lot of really good uses. It's a nice item. 20 points to make your unit, give your unit a 5-up ward save against artillery.
Yes. So
Nice.
Would you rather have this or pay 70 points for a?
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I guess this one doesn't work against bows.
Yes.
So if you're afraid of bow fire,
yeah, the dragons
then,
are.
if your dragon's
lot of
afraid of bow
those.
fire, then go for your 70-point
Yes,
item.
exactly.
But put this on a goblin lord on that spider, and now you've got a 1/3 chance of ignoring
Yep.
cannonballs.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway. I like this item a lot.
Right.
I'm a big fan.
Sure, there's the occasional magic bow you got to worry about, but no.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this thing.
It was great, and Iron Cursed Icon was great in 8th, and
Yes.
this is great.
Yeah. Well, it was even ridiculously cheap in the older
This
edition.
is nice. I like with Kingdom of Equitaine, because now you have to pick which save you get.
Oh, what your blessing does.
So you can take this against if you're not if you're going against strength, you can take this. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of
Yeah, it's just one unit though, but still.
still. Divine Icon, 15 points. Model gains divine attacks.
I like this item.
Yeah, like it. Rerolls once again. Rerolls are a
Yeah.
good thing.
Forcing rerolls on your opponent, yeah.
Yes.
I like this.
Mm-hmm.
I take this a lot. And that brings us to 5 points for the
If
last.
you have a fighty guy and you got some points left, this is the
Yeah.
thing to go for. If he's going after characters in particular.
5 points for the last item, which is the Potion of Swiftness. One use Oni. Oni? Wow, it's getting late, isn't it? Maybe activate at the start of any phase or round of combat. Again, the change to the potion, which is awesome.
Right.
For the duration of the turn, you get +3 initiative.
Mhm.
If you've got 5 extra points,
It's
and
only 5 points.
it's only 5 points, which is the benefit of this thing.
This is a 5-pointer that if I have 5 points, this is probably my choice.
Correct.
Unless I'm playing with elves.
Unless you've already got elves.
And I already, or something with my characters only have high initiative. But yeah, this is
Yeah. No,
allows
nice
you to
item.
get that attack off before maybe you're dead.
Yep.
So
Big fan.
I think that's all the enchanted items. I think most everything here it has a use.
Yeah, everything has a use. It's just whether
Yeah.
they're worth the points, like
Right.
that flying carpet
Exactly.
and the Gem of Fortune.
Yeah, and there's a number of them that are very nice to have in your army.
Yeah.
But overall, I think they're doing a good job with this.
They did. All right, that's it for enchanted items.